Hello everyone, I'm Rodney from 3DGameMan.com, and today I'm looking at one of SilverStone's Precision Series cases. This is the PS11, and it comes in two different flavors. The PS11W, which has the mesh front panel, and the PS11Q, which has the plastic front panel, and that's the one that I'm reviewing today. First of all, well, the box is really nothing special, but it does have some pictures as well as features and specifications about the product. It comes packaged with two pieces of styrofoam on either end. The case itself is in a plastic bag, and in this bag they include a quick start guide, warranty information, as well as another bag which has some plastic cable ties, looks like a thumb screw, as well as other screws for mounting the hardware inside of the case. Now, for all intensive purposes, this is an average-sized mid-tower case. You can see that they have a punch out here on the left side panel. There's one as well on the right side panel. It's mainly comprised of steel and plastic. It measures in at 215.3 millimeters. That is the width. The height is 426.5 millimeters, and the depth is 481.5 millimeters. And it is 44 liters and weighs in at a pretty lightweight 4.8 kilograms. At the top left, there is a power button. At the top right, there is a recessed reset button, a couple of LEDs for power and hard drive activity, two USB ports, as well as the audio jacks for the headphone and microphone. Two 5¼ drive bays. Note this little shiny bit right here. They have SilverStone stamped in the middle. At the bottom, well, it's plain. Now this looks like brushed aluminum. It isn't though. This is a plastic panel, and on either side there's lots of ventilation. Now the bottom section of this front panel can be very easily removed by pulling at the bottom. Note that they have dust filters on either side where the ventilation holes are. You will need that because, of course, the fan or fans at the front will be intaking cool air. Now they do include one 120 millimeter intake fan, but if you choose to, you can swap that out for a 140, and the same goes for the bottom. You know, you can have two 120s or two 140 millimeter fans here at the front. And this is nice. They include acoustic dampening material on this front panel. And as I already mentioned, the left side panel as well as the right side panel have punch outs. That's good because it will give you that little bit of extra space inside of the case. At the back of the case, at the very top, is where you would install the motherboard's I/O shield plate. Now, unfortunately, they do not include a fan back here, but you can install an optional 120 millimeter. There are 7 ventilated expansion slots, 2 rubber grommeted holes for routing cables and or water cooling tubes through. At the bottom is where you would install a standard ATX power supply, and on each panel they have 2 thumb screws. Not only is there acoustic dampening material in the front panel, they also have it on the left and right side panel. Now, since this is a mid-tower case, you'd expect it to fit regular form factor motherboards, and it does. It fits standard ATX and micro ATX form factor motherboards. As you can see inside of the case, there's ample room to work. The motherboard tray is not removable, but they do have a large hole on it for the cooler's retention plate, plus other holes for routing the cables behind the motherboard tray, and there is plenty of space behind the motherboard tray and the right side panel, as well as some punch outs back here to organize the cables. As I mentioned previously, there are 2 5¼ drive bays, and each of these has a toolless design. Now, speaking of toolless, the 3.5" drive bays also have a toolless design. There's a lever on the left side here. So to install the drive, just pull the lever out like so, slide it into position and release the lever, and reverse that to remove the drive. You can install up to 3 3.5" drives, and a note, you can install a 2.5" drive at the top. Note that there's no toolless design or thumb screws on the expansion slots, rather regular screws, and they have 3 rubber rests for the power supply to lodge on. Let's have a peek behind the motherboard tray. Again, the large hole on it for the cooler's retention plate, holes for routing the cables, as well as some punch outs for organizing the cables. At the bottom of the case, there are 4 rather tall plastic feet. It's too bad that they did not have rubber inserts, but it's good that they're tall, because if you have the case on a soft surface like carpet, it will keep it up enough off of that surface to allow the bottom fan or fans to intake cool air. And remember, you're going to have at least one fan down here. That's the power supply's fan for intaking cool air. But you can actually install another 120 millimeter fan at the bottom of this case as well. And note that they do include a dust filter. And thankfully, this filter is removable. Finally, have a listen to the stock cooling. Remember, they only include one 120 millimeter fan at the front, but you can optionally install either two 120 millimeters at the front or two 140 millimeters at the front, as well as a 120 optionally at the back, and optionally another 120 millimeter at the bottom. But again, just one 120 millimeter fan in this particular test. Most people these days, especially in this economy, are shopping for a case that has to look sharp, be jam-packed full of great features, and not break the bank. And I think that's where the PS11 case shines. Sure, for all intents and purposes, this is a budget case from the ground up, plastic feet, a bit of a plasticky feel to it as well. Not so many features as you'd expect from other premium products, and SilverStone certainly does have them, but this is designed to fit into the inexpensive category, and it does that extremely well. Overall, this is a great product. Until next time, take care.